Hello there, everyone. Hey, Rocky, how's it going? Awesome. All right. We're so excited to have everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming to this virtual cake decorating class. It's so fun to be with you guys virtually if we can't be all together. Are we still waiting on more folks to come? We're good to go. I've got the right of way. Ready to take off in flight. I'm just going to use flight puns the whole time. Are you guys ready? All right. Rocky's ready. All right. So the first thing we're going to do in our class tonight is we're going to go start to finish making the cake. That's me. I'm going to go start to finish. You guys wait a little bit, just so you can see from the first step to the last step how we're going to decorate our special Rockhurst design cake. We made this one specifically for you guys, and I think you're going to like it. And then after I do it from start to finish, we're going to have Angie come back and we're going to see how she does while you are all decorating at home. So you all, that looks like this in your little bag, little box that you picked up. So you already have a cake that is nice and filled and crumb coated with your 2 layers of cake. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we do that. I've got my 2 layers of vanilla cake here, always a great flavor. And we are going to get it all stacked and ready to go here. I use a serrated knife. I can make it nice and flat. We won't make Rocky do this with his wings. That might be kind of tricky. Yeah, sorry. All right, so I just go across and I'm just leveling out my cake. So this makes it so I've got a nice structure to start with. It's also good if you haven't grabbed scissors yet, some good kitchen scissors, or if you don't have kitchen scissors, even craft scissors are okay for your icing bags, because we didn't cut them for you yet. But I'm going to take my vanilla buttercream, and I'm just going to cut a little corner off the tip there, not too big of a hole, and I'm going to put a little bit on my cake board. That's how I hold it in place, and I put 1 layer down. And then I can just put a little more in the middle for my filling. And then you all got one of these little, we call them offset spatulas, right? So we can ice easily. And this is where I start to use my turntable. Just a nice flat filling there. And then you can use like a little plate, the edge of a table, whatever you like at home to scrape any excess frosting off. There we go. That could be a snack for Rocky later, maybe. We'll see. Okay. And then I just put my next layer right on top there. And now I'm good to go. I'm gonna get my little scraps out of the way there. And I'm good to go with frosting this guy. So, I am gonna go around. Now you all have a crumb coat already on your cakes at home. So that's going to keep any crumbs from showing when you guys ice your cakes. I am going to go right ahead and just ice my cake here like this. So this looks a little different, but this is exactly what you'll be doing on top of your crumb coat at home, okay? So I am just covering it completely in a fairly thin amount of icing. And then in order to smooth it out, again, I'm using my turntable a lot. I barely have to move this hand with my offset spatula. Once I start smoothing my cake frosting, I'm mostly spinning my turntable. So I start on the top, and I am just pressing that offset spatula in one spot while I turn my table. You can go really slow if you're kind of nervous, maybe it's your first time, or you can spin it really fast. Just try not to have your cake go flying off the table, right, Rocky? Okay. That's maybe the last flight joke I'm gonna make. And then on the side of your cake, you're gonna take the offset spatula again. And again, I'm just moving my turntable as I keep it in one spot. Now, we made it a little bit easy for some of you newbies here, and we did kind of a textured cake design on this. So do not worry about getting your cake perfectly smooth. It does not need to be smooth. It needs to be beautiful and look delicious. All right. If you get extra piled up at the bottom, you can kind of just scrape it off also onto your plate. And then for the top, to get a nice clean edge, can we see this on the other camera okay? All right, awesome. I just take that offset spatula and I bring it right in, Just nice, easy strokes right into the center, and that will help me have a nice edge there. Now, again, you can try to make this as smooth as you like, but the design we've got for you guys is we do a little texture. I'm just going to go softly around the sides of my cake and just kind of work that spatula around a little bit. This is kind of a vintage style cake. There we are. Maybe a little more texture on top. Gorgeous. All right. Now, our next step, you all have the Rockhurst blue frosting. We made sure to make it nice and bright. Again, I just cut a little bit off the top there, if you can see that. And I'm just gonna put some little, we say bloops around here, some little bloops around the cake. So you're just gonna squeeze a little frosting out into some different areas on the top and the sides. All right, so I've got maybe, I don't know, 7 or so bloops. And then I'm gonna take my little spatula again. I scraped off any excess frosting I had. And I'm just gonna go softly over those blue bloops. Boop, boop, boop. And this gives it kind of almost like a watercolor look. And this is also just a very fun kind of brighten up the cake look. Adding some color around. You can do as much of this as you want, as much blue frosting as we gave you, but I'm gonna leave it just about there. All right, and then, this is what I'm really excited about. We have, you all have in your bags at home, the red frosting bag has a very special tip in it that makes it really easy to ice the tulips. Just like I've heard you have all over campus each year, these red tulips. So with this tip, you can easily go right onto the cake. You just squeeze near the base there, whoop, and pull right up. And you want to stop squeezing as you come up, so it's not too long of a tulip. Whoop. There we go. And I'm gonna make a nice sort of little crescent of tulips on the top of the cake. All right, and that little fancy tip makes it nice and easy to just make a full flower each time you pipe it. Now, the final thing is, of course, we need some leaves to go around our tulips. Now, if you can see this here, I'm gonna show you the green bag that you have in your kit. You're going to take scissors and you're gonna cut it in a special way. So, I'm gonna make sure, can we see that on the camera there? Awesome, okay. So I'm gonna cut a little V. So I'm gonna go in at one side, and again, not too big. I'm just gonna cut going in on one side. So there's a little diagonal cut there. And then on the other side. And so I take out that little diamond shape that I cut. And so you can kind of see now, it's like a beak, right? Okay, so make a rocky beak for your leaf bag. And then you want to pipe this right next to your little red tulips here. So again, as much as you like, I kind of like to go around and do a couple on each tulip, definitely do some in between, and you're just completing your little tulip garden there. Nice and fancy, there we go. Gorgeous. All right, next time your friend's having a wedding, you'll all be ready. You're gonna be pros after this. I think Angie is ready to come on and try her hand at it. If you all have any questions, at this point, I think you can unmute yourself. So feel free, if you want to call out a question, we can field questions that way. Or if you want to type it into the chat, you can do that too. But Angie's going to get started and we'll be around for any questions as you're all working. All righty. Angie?
You're going to be here to assist
I'm
me,
going
right?
to be here. I'm going to be right here the whole time. And if you've got your cake ready to go, I'm going to move this away. All right. And I've got a new white bag there for you. But then there's plenty of your colored bags here.
Perfect. Well, I'm just so excited to see all of you, even though I can't see all of you. For those of you who know me, you'll be happy to know, or this might not surprise you, that while I was supposed to be paying attention to Louisa decorating, I was over there talking with Morgan. So I realized about halfway through that I should be paying attention. So we're gonna wing this and do really well. But you know, we all have aprons on here, right? Like me and Rocky have the Rockhurst apron. You know really what an apron is? It's just a Superman cake on backwards. But up. Okay, so I'm supposed to cut this like this.
Yeah, maybe a little bit smaller. Yep, perfect.
And I'm going to pipe around. Y'all be doing this with me now, okay? We're going to, I have an assistant though. Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Rocky was clearly paying attention. We're going to pipe around, doesn't matter to me. Pipe around the edges here. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Okay, we're going to go up one. Look at us going faster as we go. I'm so excited. Keep going, Rocky. You got this. Oops. Messed up there. I can fix that with the spatula, right?
Yes. And I've got spatula right over here.
Perfect. That's a beautiful thing about cake decorating is if you don't like how it turns out, you just swipe it off and eat it, and you don't have to tell anybody that you licked your finger. I mean, in the days of COVID, you probably don't want to do that, but if it's your family and you're all vaccinated, it's totally fine. Why is this taking us longer than it took you, Louisa?
Well, you know, we don't really promote the use of wings with the turntables. It's not really what we usually go for, but you know what? Anyone can learn to decorate a cake, and that's what we're proving tonight. A bird could do this job.
But love it. Okay, now when I get to the top, I just go around like this.
Perfect. Yeah. You just want that thin layer all over. It's looking great.
I think Tim Peak is on this call. Nurse Tim, how you doing? We're gonna have some of y'all show us your cakes.
Doing great. How are you, Andy?
Let's get it. I'm good. How's nursing going?
It's going fantastic. Thank you.
We're keeping you busy, I know. All right, so then we take the spatula and just try to smooth it out.
Yeah, and feel free, use that turntable as much as you can to help you. Yeah, that's for it. The turntables are a great tool.
Bill Bennett's there decorating with his wife and daughter. How's your cake looking, Phil? Is your daughter eating some of the icing as we go?
Yummy. It's not going great, but that's okay.
It's fun. It's all for fun. Good to see you guys. Hey, Rocky, do you know who named the copy cave? She's on this call. Kayla, your claim to fame at Rockhurst is naming the copy cave. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. That was super fun.
Prize, I think. I'm doing this the right way.
Yeah, that's looking great. Perfect.
What was it that you won, Kayla?
An iPad.
I thought that's what it was. That's been a few years ago. How do I remember that?
I don't know. That's a great memory.
Maybe because you were a fantastic student leader and I just remember thinking about people like that.
Oh, thank you.
Some of you may remember me without glasses as well. These are standard feature now. I know, Rocky. Old age, a privilege denied to many, my friend. Let's enjoy it. All right. Okay, who wants to turn on their camera and show us what you got so far? Mine does not look anything like Louisa's, but
I don't know.
I think it'll do.
I can tell you've probably done this before. That's looking pretty beautiful. Awesome.
I will say the first time I decorated, that looks good. Who's we looking at there? Is that Megan?
Hi, yeah, it's Shauna and Megan.
I recognize you from the nose down. Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Oh, that one looks great. Who are we showing there?
That looks really good. It's impressive.
Michael, you should, are you a decorator, Michael? Hello there.
Pretty good.
I see your pretty face, but I don't see the cake. I'm embarrassed.
No, and then it gets warm. So
Oh, that looks good.
I
That
don't
looks
know.
really good. And up against your pink shirt, it's perfect. Oh, we got a little one helping. Who are we showing there? Hello, hello.
Like, huh?
I'm so proud of you for not just sticking your finger in there and eating it. Ah,
She's an expert turntabler.
He's thinking you wait.
that looks fantastic. Okay. Now is it time for my bloops?
I think so. Your blue bloops coming right up. All right. So however much you want to do.
You did 7.
I did 7. It does not need to be exact.
Rocky wants to give it a try.
All right.
I started paying attention right about here. So, good job, Rock. As many blue bloops as you want. Did you guys know that a party without a cake is just a meeting? Can I do one?
Okay, is just a what?
A meeting. Those terrible things that we have on Zoom now that we used to be able to have in person. All right, so then after we have our bloops, we take the spatula,
Yes.
and what did you call it?
So we're kind of smoothing it out. Yep, just a little more texture in there. Yep, perfect. Kind of like a watercolor look is what we're going.
I do watercolor. You do watercolor, Rocky?
Rocky does everything, it sounds like.
He dances, he sings, he does gymnastics. Takes a lot of pictures, don't you, Rocky? I think I lost my view here. Was the joke that bad? Okay, there we go. There we go. There's not many bakery and cake jokes, by the way. If anybody has a good one, type it in the chat or unmute.
It's a very serious business.
It is a very
we
serious
try not
business.
to joke around
Yes.
at all.
Yes. How are my bloops looking,
Oh.
Lisa?
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
I do like the texture that it gives it.
Yes, for sure. I love a textured frosting. It just always looks delicious.
I'd like to see some bloops. Turn on your camera if you want to show us how you're smoothing out your bloops. Por favor. Oh, there's a good one.
There we go.
Who do we have there? I can't see this far away. And hands are hard to recognize. Elizabeth. We have Elizabeth and her crew. It looks like you got a fun crew there. Ah, love that.
Very
We have a future professional cake decorator in the I Like Two People shirt there. Great job. Hello there. Will you show us your bloops there? Oh, unmute or so we can hear you.
Oh, there you go.
I got
Oh,
carrots.
that looks great.
Lots of blue. Rockhurst
I
blue.
love it. Well, what's Rockhurst blue? We gotta have it. That's gorgeous.
It's always fun on these Zoom too, to where different people decorate. I
Yes.
see some people are outside enjoying the beautiful weather. That's the way to go, I think. Gorgeous.
Okay, how are my blues?
The bloops are looking very bloopy and very good. I like it.
Wanna do
Very
one
nice.
time? Rocky, here. I gotta share the spotlight with Rocky.
Oh,
Oh, it's gonna show me up, wiping off the spatula. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Rocky even can now be considered a fantastic cake decorator.
Now, feel free if anyone has any questions about any of the cake stuff or other things. We'll take any questions you have. But cake stuff especially, if you need to know anything about it. I will say sometimes people ask about what kind of frosting we use here. So what we're decorating with today is American buttercream. There's lots of different kinds of buttercream. There's buttercreams you can cook, like Italian buttercream. Oh, okay.
Rocky's trying to lick the spatula.
But this is good old-fashioned American buttercream. That means butter, sugar, usually a little vanilla, maybe a little dairy product in there, and that's how we do it in the United States of America. So that's what you're decorating with today, and in our opinion, it's the tastiest. Yeah. So,
Well, how can you go wrong with butter, sugar, right?
yeah, there you go.
Okay, so fun fact, we're gonna do our tulips next.
Tulips, and you were telling me about an
Yes.
update with the tulips.
How many of you remember when I think one of the things that Rockhurst is known for, and of course you see it all over our website and many pictures of beautiful tulips, right? And 9 times out of 10, or maybe 99 times out of 100, they're red. This year, the campus, the grounds crew took it to a vote, and the students voted on multicolored rainbow tulips. So we'll have to post some pictures of the tulips this year because they were just stunning. So there was red, there was yellow, there was pink, there was some, Rocky, that even had red and yellow and pink all in the same tulip, right? They were beautiful. So love those reds. Sometimes I've seen yellow, but we had multicolored this year, and I can't wait for the pictures to get online so you can see them. They're amazing. All right, so we're going to do some tulips, and if I remember correctly, you start at the bottom, and we pull up. We don't want it to be too tall.
Yep,
Stop.
perfect.
Look at that, right?
Beautiful.
Woo!
Beautiful. Now,
I need to get this tip.
I know. These are called Russian tips.
Okay.
They have all sorts of different styles of flowers, whole roses and things that you can literally just plop them right out. Now, one of you asked in the chat about how did I get cake decorating skills? Where did I get my training? So I learned on the job. I started in my early 20s working at a bakery, and someone was willing to show me how to do things. Now, learning on the job is great because you gotta learn quick and you have to do it every day, so you really learn it fast. But there are so many ways to learn cake decorating, especially now that we have things like Instagram, YouTube. I mean, you can find a video on how to do just about anything. So if you're interested in learning more about cake decorating, there's lots of things out there for you to check out. And of course, too, McLain's, we actually do these virtual classes pretty regularly. So if you want to sign up for another one, great. But there's so many options out there on how to learn. You don't have to be a pastry chef to be able to decorate a cake. Look at your tulips. They magically appear.
They
while
did.
I'm
While you
talking.
were talking.
Beautiful.
Waste not, what not. We had to please the audience here.
Yes, yes. Now, if anyone needs a reminder, if you didn't cut your leaf bag yet, remember again, you're making Rocky's V. So a little V, and it's ready to pipe a leaf.
All right. Before we go on, does anyone have any questions about the tulips or having any challenges? Feel free to speak up.
Could you redo the tulip? I haven't done the tulip yet. Could you do one again?
Bet. You want to do it, Rocky? So what you're going to do, make sure you squeeze down some icing a little bit. Then you're going to squeeze it and then pull up on the bag. Your hand was in the way, so I'm going to do one more. Rocky forgets that his hand is a lot bigger than mine. So you're going to squeeze while it's down here and pull up. And then right before you remove the bag, you're going to stop squeezing. And so it gives you those ends right there.
Yeah, especially when you're starting the piping at the bottom, you kind of have to do a good enough base on there for it to really stick to the cake. So yeah, just make sure you're squeezing hard at the beginning and then not as much as you pull up. So great. Another question that someone had, and I think you might have one too. What's my favorite cake or dessert to make? I would say I love cake decorating. The decorating is the most fun part to me. So like kids' cakes with tons of just like color and candy and all that, always the most fun to me. Do you make cakes or desserts at home at all? Or
I do. I actually, when Morgan asked me to do this, she didn't realize I'd taken one whole class. So one whole class is the equivalent like if you take a half semester of Spanish, the equivalent of one cake decorating class. So you're gonna know the basics, but nobody's gonna hire you to make anything. So I know just enough to be dangerous. I actually like sugar cookies. I like decorating sugar cookies for Christmas. My favorite cake to make is actually pumpkin bars with my, I call it a cake. It was my own, well, it's not my own. It's a cream cheese frosting recipe that I got when I worked at a bakery in college. She let me
so
take
good.
all of her recipes.
Oh my goodness, yes. And it's sounding like get a job at a bakery if you really want to learn, because maybe you'll learn at least a couple things.
All right, so now we're gonna do some leaves, and I forget where you put them. Just anywhere,
Yes,
really.
Just anywhere. You can go pretty much right up against your tulip.
And it's the same kind of concept that you just pull it up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the more you push, the more you're going to get out of it. So up to you, however much you want to do. Yep.
So all I did was just swipe my.
Yep.
I think I can get it a little. I'm hearing Phil. What you got for us, Phil?
Hey.
No. Anyone have any questions?
I didn't put anything in my cake. Charlie Adams, my leaves kind of look more like tomato worms than the leaves.
Would you mind repeating yourself? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I said, my leaves look more like tomato worms.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a couple leaves that look kind of like stalks. So
I will say
These are nice little
the little mouth, you want to make it like it's gonna bite into the side of the flower almost. So like the way you position it is the V is to the sides, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of confusing. I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm gonna show it real quick on my hand close to the camera. So let me see here. Okay, so here I'm gonna make a tulip on my hand if it sticks. All right, there's my tulip, my little squat tulip. All right, and then here is the little V in the back. Okay, so I'm gonna make him like he's biting the base here. And that will get it so it's going like leaves kind of naturally do on a flower. So hopefully that's helpful. I know it's a little weird with the camera.
her hand looks better than our cake, right?
Well, thank you. Now I've got leaves as well as tomato worms.
You know, the beauty of it all is it's going to taste amazing.
And someone else asked in the chat about dairy-free options for frostings. Very good question, because, you know, we've got people with allergies, vegan people, you know, all sorts of different reasons you might want a different frosting. There are some really great butter and margarine substitutes that you could use. I think I've used one called like Nature Balance or something. Anyway, you can get them at almost all grocery stores now, but definitely places like Whole Foods and things. And just use that as your butter substitute. And then you can use really any type of milk for your dairy product in it. So you could use, you know, an oat milk, soy milk, probably all sorts of other things too. But anything that you don't have an allergy to or can have, if it's a substitute in other recipes, you could probably use it for frostings too. Look at this, gorgeous, beautiful. Do you need a job?
I don't think I'd sell many cakes looking at the ones you made over there. We would like to open it up for either questions about the cake, how to do it, if you're struggling a little bit. We'd like to see some cakes, and please recognize that this, for most of us, this is our first time, so I'm sure they're all gorgeous in their own way. You're looking at it through a mother's eyes, so your cake is gorgeous. And then also just maybe open it up for some conversation about what's going on. Oh, look at that!
Whoa, look at that party.
Who's that there? Mike Marshall, I had no idea you were such.
Oops.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, we guys. Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
There's Monica.
There. You want? Yeah, me and my brother made this.
Behind the computer. That is amazing. Good. that Phil's daughter eating the spatula? Super, and that cake looks fantastic too. Hey, Rocky, go ahead. Oh, look at that one. That's so pretty. Who is that? Kelly? You did a great job. That's awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
That's perfect. And look at you, you even know how to stand, so you're perfectly in frame. You've done this before. That's awesome. That looks great. I like your bloops. Very nice. There's Megan, the teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream, dreamwork makes the teamwork, something like that. Megan, that looks great. Oh, you guys even did some tulips on the side. Look at you getting fancy. Good job. I think they've had classes before. Don't you think?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
You're like cake decorating sharks. You know?
We're gonna do. I think we're gonna do it all the way around. Actually.
Go for it. That looks good too, and the pretty fingernails that I'm seeing there. Love that. They've also got tulips on the side. Very good. Looking good there. Everybody's got tulips on the side except us, Rocky. Go for it. I like y'all's aprons too. The stripes are amazing.
This is a very fun design where obviously you can do a lot of different things with it, right? You all know how to ice a cake now, how to add some texture, how to add some color bloops and a watercolor effect. And you guys get to keep all these piping tips too, where you can easily do these tulips. So maybe Rockhurst needs to have a little competition at some point and maybe make some tulip cakes. That'd be fun. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I think, we're proving here that cake decorating is for everyone. Humans, animals, mascots, people with giant furry wings on. It's for everyone. That looks gorgeous. Awesome.
I just learned that we have a brand new hawk watching, the class of 2025, if you can believe it. So I'm going to have Rocky whisper some advice in my ear that I'm going to share. See, Rocky and I have a special communication technique. He's so right. First thing to do is know that everybody's nervous. Everyone is nervous. Everybody thinks I'm not gonna, but what if I don't know anybody? What if I don't make friends? The cool thing about Rockhurst is we are a home and a place for all. So it is one of the most welcoming environments. But one of the things Rocky said is you gotta put yourself out of your comfort zone. One thing you'll notice about Rockhurst that's different than any other school is you won't see a lot of people walking through campus with just their earphones on, phone buried in their head buried in their phone. Everybody talks to everybody, but you might have to be the first one to greet someone and say hi, but I promise you they'll say hi back. Read everything that comes this summer, complete your checklist that'll come to you this summer, and attend orientation. Most importantly, know that everybody at Rockhurst is here to help you, and we're gonna lead you step by step for a while, but you gotta step out of your comfort zone and meet some people too. Did I get that right? Okay, good.
Now, I'm curious. I don't know anyone personally from Rockhurst. I'm not from around these parts. Is there anyone on our call today who's like, dare I call them out, the oldest alumni?
Oh.
Can I ask that?
You can ask it. We'll see if someone responds.
I'm curious. I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, might actually be Rocky.
Oh, sure. Rocky has been around a long time. Okay, has Rocky been there since the beginning?
Not since 1910. No.
Okay.
I want to say Rocky. Rocky, you might be what about?
Sorry. Put him on the spot.
Sorry,
there.
Rocky's.
Okay.
Rocky's. A true lady doesn't tell her age. I'll tell you my age, but that's okay. I get it. It's not for everyone. We respect how everyone feels, right? You don't want to tell us, we don't have to know. But if you're so inclined to share, so we know we have someone from the class of 2025.
Oh, I graduated in 97.
I'm sorry?
I graduated in 97.
97.
Good.
97, right.
That seems like
1976, both of us.
About 19. Am I on? Yeah. 1954.
Oh, you beat us by 2 years.
That's right. These were known as the good old days.
What year did we win the NCAA basketball championship? Was that 64?
Well, we had those wooden barracks and that mess hall that was.
Whit Merrifield isn't someone to be bragging about right now. He needs to get back in the game a little bit. Well, class of 54, I think we'll send you a prize.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, this was fun. Thank you so much.
It was fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Does anyone want to show their cake some more, or any other questions about what's new on campus?
Icing on it now.
Oh, not on it.
No, this was good. Thank you so much. I think we're gonna go eat.
That was fun.
This tulip tip is a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I will say, we do have the answer to the question, and it's 30,000. So just a few. And the cool thing about that, Rockhurst is really great to our community and our earth. And because we have little no back, you can plant a tulip bulb and leave it there, and it'll keep, sprouting every year. However, since we have an irrigation system, we have to dig up our bulbs every year, or else they would mold and they would not sprout. So we plant the tulips in October. They come up in March, April, and then once they have had their lovely life, we dig them up and we leave them on the Rockhurst campus.
Oh.
So nothing goes.
I have a,
Morgan, I'm going to invite you to come back. If anybody else has any other questions, we're going to.
I'll just ask one quick question. Do you use special bags for the frosting?
Oh, special bags, yes. So we did use piping bags. It doesn't need to be like a certain brand or anything. You can get things like this at Michael's, Joann's, any craft store, or of course, baking supply store.
Okay.
In a pinch, I have used Ziploc bags at home. It can be done. Sometimes they're a little harder to keep from bursting if you put too much frosting in, but it can be done if you're in a pinch.
Okay.
But piping bags like this are pretty easy to find around.
Okay.
Also, too, oh, go ahead. Okay. Also, too, just so you all know, also, cake that you decorated tonight, it will last. Eat it and enjoy it. You could just refrigerate it and either eat it cold or take it out a little bit before you want to eat it. It can also freeze. Now, your tulips might not all stay, but feel free. You got your little cake in a box. You can put it back in the box and wrap it in plastic wrap and freeze it if you want to save it for like a special occasion. I am also a proponent of eating cake for breakfast. So I would just tell you, vanilla cake with buttercream frosting for breakfast is a part of a balanced diet. Have an orange on the side or something, but you can definitely eat this for breakfast. You heard it straight from Louisa at McLain's. It's totally fine.
Is there any way we could get? Is there any way we could get another one of the tulip tips? Because two of us kind of went in on it together so we could decorate together, but I think both of us would like to have one for home if we could buy one from you or get one from you.
That's a very good question. You know what? I am not certain that we have more that we have ready to go at this meet, but we can definitely check on that for you. Let's do this. If anyone is interested in buying any certain equipment that they like tonight, I would say, do they have your email, Morgan?
Yes. Yeah, if you email alumni@rockhurst.edu,
Okay.
let us know and we can get it out. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great question. Yes. And I will say too, check out stuff online because there are a myriad of these types of tips that you can purchase to do all sorts of different things. So if you're interested in doing a lot of decorating, you know, that's a way to go. But for these tulip tips, totally, you know, we can figure it out to get you guys some more of this exact one, because that's.
All right, any last questions before we wrap up? Not. Thank you everyone so much for coming. Thank you to McLain's for hosting, and Rocky and Angie for all their skills. A few quick announcements. We have a few upcoming events. On June 27th, we'll have an event at Bar K, so if you have dogs, definitely check that out. And then in September, we have Family and Alumni Weekend on 16th through 19th. So, well, Rocky will see you there. But with that, thank you everyone, and enjoy your cakes.